10 drastically dangerous trees of death. The tree of life may be a popular concept in folklore, mythology, and religious stories around the world. Yet in the world of biology, there exists a variety of veritable trees of death, poised to cause great harm to any humans that comes into contact with them. While not quite the man-eating tree of some very tall explorers' tales, the trees we consider in this account show that the truth can be stranger than fiction. Learn how to dodge death by tree or at least nasty illness and injury as we branch out into the strange stories of some truly ghastly grand plans to avoid. But before that, if you're new to my channel and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to be the first to receive the latest videos. Starting with the number 10, Manchineel tree. It looks like an apple, it feels like an apple, but it is a fruit that is extremely dangerous to your health. And the tree that it comes from is so toxic that you could literally be burned just as a result of being careless enough to stand beneath its beautiful leafy branches on a rainy day. Nicknamed Manzanilla de la Muerte, meaning little apple of death in Spanish. The deadly Manchineel tree is an endangered tree species native to the Caribbean coasts, including regions extending along Florida, Mexico, and Central and South America. Early related to apple trees and resembling them greatly in both its fruit and vegetation, the so-called beach apple contains the carcinogenic and highly poisonous chemical compound known as forbol, along with a range of unknown chemical mixtures to great toxic effect. Any direct human contact with the tree may result in painful burns to the skin, while ingestion of the apples can lead to death. Furthermore, even if you do not eat from the tree or actually touch it, there is a serious risk of your health and well-being. Just standing under the tree during rain may cause skin rashes and burns, while if any of contaminated water reaches your eyes or exposure to smoke from burning Manchineel wood may even lead to ocular burns with lasting eye damage. Number 9. Suicide tree. It is not often that a murder weapon or means of ending one's life is depicted as a tree, even in popular fiction. Yet creative writers might do well to literally branch out in their literacy devices and consider Cerebera odolum as a real-life inspiration for their darkest plots. Widely known as the suicide tree, this superficially innocent-looking species packs a potent concoction of noxious chemicals that are quite deadly to humans. Not surprisingly, the botanical components of this tree being recruited as an organic and completely natural means of botanical murder. Native to India, this tree species is frequently used in private landscaping projects in the form of a hedge due to its intruder deterrent capabilities as a super toxic tree. While toxic, this plant does not have a particularly strong flavor compared to spicy cooking often served in regions where the tree is found or introduced. Due to the easily covered up flavor of this species, a dose of suicide tree in a spicy meal has also been used by those targeting a person for murder, in addition to the many tragic cases where people take their own life by ingesting this plant. During witch trials in Madagascar, where the tree is also native, numerous deaths occurred during trial by ordeal proceeding where suicide tree ingestion was involved. Nasty. Number 8. Coconut. We all eat coconuts. We know them as a fabulous health food, which they are, and we might be able to save ourselves if we really were stranded on a desert island with a few rocks by breaking open coconut to drink and eat. Yet the bulk and mass of coconut fruits, coupled with hungry humans' desire to stand close to them or try to obtain their unfallen fruit, means that us enterprising primates have, on some occasions, been passively bludgeoned to death by this species. Filled with pith and water, encased by hardened shell and weighing more than 3 pounds, a coconut can do a great deal of damage should it fall at the moment one is standing underneath the coconut tree. The danger is made worse by their unpredictable moment of falling and the height of smooth trunk palm trees on which they grow. Falling coconut signs are posted widely in the tropics, yet multiple tragic deaths have been documented in eyewitness accounts, doctors' reports, and medical journals in countries ranging from Malaysia and Thailand to Sri Lanka and New Guinea, from blunt force trauma to the skull. While exaggerated in the media, over 15 documented fatality cases since the 1770s, most of which occurred within the past 100 years, highlights the risk. Number 7. Strychnine tree. It may come as a surprise to some to learn that strychnine is not some mysterious manufactured lab chemical, but rather a nasty elixir of death produced from a tree, which not surprisingly is to be approached with great caution. Immediately recognizable by its Latin name and common name alike, the tree species Strychnus vomica or the strychnine tree is a species native to India and Southeast Asia that has become notorious as a deadly tree. The tree is the very source of the deadly poison strychnine, with a history of wide use on animals deemed to be pests and sometimes on humans who get in the way of someone malevolent and out for chemical-based means of murder. The deceptively ordinary-looking branches bear thick leaves and also carry loads of dark, dollar-like seeds which are the source of strychnine poison. The seeds present an expensive or deadly medical problem if ingested. Eye pain, dizziness, muscle cramping, paralysis, and a heavy tongue are among the nasty symptoms that a victim may face if foolish enough to ingest the raw plant material or somehow end up poisoned by strychnine. Despite its toxicity, the plant has medical applications in cancer treatment. Number 6. Bunya pine. Being struck dead by a pine cone might be compared in popular imagination to the inane proposal of someone being beaten to death with a chicken feather. Yet, the Bunya pine is a prehistoric monster tree so deadly in potential that barricades have been used just to make sure someone does not get squashed to death by a 22-pound pine cone from hell. Growing up to 148 feet in height, the Bunya pine is defined by thick bark, prehistoric-looking sprays of course, large pine needles and gigantic pine cones that pose a lethal threat or at least present the danger of catastrophic injury. Number 5. Milky mangrove. Mangrove trees might be thought of as novel and beloved plants that offer coastal communities and environmental engineers a cool and natural way to stabilize shores, or as an icon of tropical coastlines with crabs clinging to their roots. Yet, a skull and crossbone sign might as well be affixed to the stems of certain mangrove patches due to the danger posed by the exact species from which they are formed. Distributed widely in East Asian, South Asian, and Australian waters is the milky mangrove, a toxin-oozing tree that humans must not touch, climb, or otherwise handle due to its incredibly toxic composition. Number 4. SANDBOX tree. When venturing into natural areas, one is wise to avoid stampeding animals, but the risk of being smashed by a tree in the midst of reproduction is probably the last threat of which hikers would think. Being poisoned or struck by the falling fruit of a tree is within the realm of easy imagination, but a grenade-dispersing tree sounds too much like a military science fiction to be part of the real natural world. But this threat is real and dangerous to humans, thanks to the bizarre SANDBOX tree, a species native to tropical parts of North America and South America. Also called the dynamite tree, the potentially 200-foot-tall tree launches large pods that explode, propelling bulky seed pod fragments at speeds of 160 miles per hour, landing 100 feet or more away from the tree. In addition to the criminally reckless way in which the SANDBOX tree reproduces, the tree itself is fortified with nasty spikes running up the trunk and laced with highly toxic sap known to be dangerous to humans. Number 3. GYMPIE. Stinging nettles may be known as herbs that are annoying and painful if touched, only to be turned into a tasty vegetable if steamed after handling with thick gloves and an ample caution. Yet, a stinging nettle on steroids found in exotic locations takes the form and appearance of a tree, while its ability to poison, inflict pain, and even kill make it the stuff of legends and a high-ranking real-life hazard to explorers of the woods. The oddly named Gympie of Australia is a horror tree equipped with stinging vegetation and capable of delivering toxic chemicals upon skin contact that may kill humans and large animals, or at least cause serious discomfort that in some cases may persist for months on end. Number 2. Common yew. While the deadly plant called hemlock, which kills Socrates, was not the coniferous hemlock tree but rather a poisonous herb in the carrot family, common yew is the real thing when it comes to deadly conifer trees capable of ending lives upon ingestion. Relatively small for a conifer, the dull-needled flexible tree has been used as a source of bendable wood for archery products since ancient times. The tree is also extremely poisonous and stands out among coniferous trees for the remarkable and persistent toxicity of its vegetation, fruits, seeds, and woody components. Here comes the most dangerous and poisonous. Number 1. Namibian bottle tree. Most deadly trees look deceptively normal, akin to edible vegetation or at least typical shade trees in their general appearance. Yet, the Namibian bottle tree looks less like a tree than a bottle of poisonous grog fit to do away with any living thing that drinks it. A tree of the desert, the Namibian bottle tree must both find a solution to intermittent and sparse water resource availability and determine attention from desert animals that might be keen on easy drink. Seeming to devote more of its living bulk to water storage than greenery, the Namibian bottle tree species is so poisonous that extraction from the bizarre-looking desert tree, which may grow over 6 feet in height, has been used by native Bushman tribes as a poison for hunting arrows. Its branches guarded by the fierce thorns, the bottle tree bears its poisonous sap to protect its carefully stored water supply, which would otherwise be raided by thirsty animals ripping into the water-hoarding desert tree. So that's it with the top 10 drastically dangerous trees of death. The data was searched and researched by the Great Top 10. If you liked today's video, please share it with your friends and family. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, then please subscribe and don't forget to hit the red button to be the first to receive the latest videos. See you in the next video.